Hi guys, what is going on? Today I'm reviewing a product for you guys. It's a very controversial product and I want to know your guys' opinions. So without further ado, let's get into the review. This is the Airsoft Innovations 40 mic. So here we have the Airsoft Innovations 40 mic. It's a 40mm grenade that shoots 150 BBs out of a single injection port. What makes this so different to moss carts? If you don't know what moss carts is, they're effectively a shotgun style grenade launcher grenade. It doesn't actually fire the grenade, it just purely launches the actual BBs, projects them in a shotgun pattern. This doesn't actually leave the launcher, it just purely fires BBs out of a single ejection port. Why is this so controversial? Well, the 40 mic shoots at only approximately 240 feet per second, depending on the gas that you use. That's not too bad, but this thing's also nicknamed the 40mm pain train. Why? Because it shoots 150 rounds in 0.2 of a second. One trigger pull means you are sending 150 rounds down range. Naturally, a lot of people do think this is very overkill, and I can agree, I do think it can be overkill. But the reason I'm making this video is because I want to explain why I don't think it is, depending on who uses them. Now, I'm an Airsoft player, I've been playing Airsoft since 2014. And I've used a variety of guns. I've used a few shotguns, I've used assault rifles, pistols, sniper rifles, riot shields, claymores, grenade launchers. I've done grenade launchers that actually shoot the projectile across, and they're pretty cool. So why has this been stirring up so much grief in the airsoft world? There are definitely situations where you don't need to be sending 150 BBs down range. I play in the UK. A lot of close quarters sites will either not allow full auto, and then they definitely ban these, or they will simply say you can only use them for special games, or a few sites that do allow them will have minimum engagements. The information we get from Airsoft Innovations will tell you that 100 feet you'll get a 10-foot spread of BBs, meaning that 100 feet you will definitely hit your target if they are stood within it. It's almost impossible to miss. I've seen these hit at over 200 feet, they still hurt quite a lot. But the bursts, I can't tell you the official figure, but I'd say it's over the multiplier. So, you know, if you multiply the 100 feet by 2, your 10-foot radius becomes bigger than 20 feet from experience. Which is why I don't think it's completely ridiculous. At range, I don't think there is an issue with people using them. The problem you get is if you're room clearing and you're using one of these, you are going to cause some serious pain, as I'll demonstrate in a second. First, let's see what you get. We're going to open up the box. You will also get a patch that is not included in this video because it's been taken elsewhere, but that's irrelevant really. If you're buying it just for the patch, I suppose if you got the money to do it. So inside the box, besides the grenade, you will get 50 milliliters of grenade oil. You'll get the guide, which we don't need. You also get the safety cap, which can be seen here. And then finally you'll get the actual 40 mic itself. I'll wait for you for the picture. So let's take a closer look. Here we have the 40 mic. It's made of a few different materials. The main body being aluminium. You then have steel ends, top and bottom. This is to not only give you that wear and tear, but also in the bits that are going to get chewed up by your grenade launchers and stuff, this is what will save it from chewing them up. You then have the brass actual cap. At the top you get the warranty, do not remove this sticker otherwise you'll invalidate it. You also have the single port BB ejection, and you also have the fill valve. Now this fill valve is also one of the newer design fill valves which they're bringing out on pistols, which I'm quite happy about. When you fill up, there's always gas left in it. That's just a mix of normal air and the pressure building in the condensation from the gas that's left. Now you can never get that out fully, which is irritating because it means you can't store as much gas in the round. But with these new design in valves that are coming out in a lot of new pistols, the gas escapes as you fill it, and once you fill the expansion chamber, you'll hear it start chucking the liquid. Now it means you'll go through gas quite quick filling these, but you'll get 100% gas efficiency, which everyone wants. So how do you fill them? Let me show you. So first things first, you're going to want to wear iPro. These can go off unintentionally, at least with a 40 mic. I've not experienced it yet. I've seen moss carts go off when people are filling them. It's not pretty. Moss carts are really sensitive. These are actually not too bad. So the first things you're going to want to do is take your safety cap. What that does, simply place on the bottom like this. This now stops any accidental discharges, meaning that it won't go off while you're filling it. Always worth having iPro on anyways. You're going to want to take your speed loader full of BBs, place it over the hole, and just fill like this. So this is not full. It actually will take 150 rounds, which this can't hold, so you'll need to refill one of these if you have the normal 100 round-ish speed loaders. You're also going to want to keep your bottle handy because you're going to have a few spares at the end. You'll get to a certain point and it will become really resistant to get new BBs in. So what you want to do, this is why you do the BBs first, finger over the hole and just shake it. As you can hear, they're currently working their way around the spiral system. You can then continue filling up. Keep going. So that's about full now. What you now want to do is you want to take your bottle, your BBs come from, and just tip back the stuff that's not held in by the O-ring. Now you take your gas. I'm using Neoprol 2.0. Don't know if you can see that. It does also recommend not to use the red gas or black gas. You can't use CO2 either, but you can use propane and duster gas, as well as green gas, obviously. You put your gas on top, you fill it, and it will start to hiss all the excess gas out. When it's full, you'll see it will start to spit. That's when you know it's full. This grenade is now live. So what you want to do now is grab your launcher. This is the one I've got. It's a SEMA, I think you pronounce it like that. And it was about £40 in the UK, brand new. Pretty good construction all round. From here, including the trigger and the trigger rail, all the way forward is complete metal, pretty solid. In this case, hold the lever down, flick it open, and it opens up. Simply put the grenade in, take off the protective boot, slam it down, and you're now ready to fire. So one thing with the 40 mic is it's quite noisy and it's terrifying, to be honest. But sites need to just consider who's using them. If you tell them that it's going to be, a 30-meter minimum engagement, they'll stick to that. That's just an example. I'm not saying it should be that far, but there does need to be a minimum, because if you ran into the room with this, you're going to hurt people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this off, and then I'm going to jump back into the past, where I compared the SSG to the 40 mic. Again, only one trigger pull from each, so you'll be able to see the kind of damage that it does to polystyrene, and then you'll get an idea of what it would do to skin if you were, say, to walk directly in front of it by accident. It's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna really, really hurt. So let's fire this off and see how it sounds. Firing in 3, 2, 1. So I don't know if you heard from that video, but not only did it dump all the BBs in one pool, it also scared off all the local wildlife. Let's take a look at the damage it does in this clip. For the damage comparison, we're going to compare it to my SSG. The setup we have the styrofoam block, and we're just going to be shooting. We're going to give it about a foot or 2 foot, just to be able to give it that worst case scenario, you've walked in front of the shot. So that was a pretty good first test. The SSG shot beautifully, entry point right there, and the shot was actually caught in the back of the plastic. So now, let's see what the 40 mic does. Still yellow?
Oh my god.
So what were the results? So I've previously shown you what my SSG will do. The penetrating power of the SSG was enough to cut through the polystyrene. But what about this? Fortunately or unfortunately, it wasn't enough to completely go through the polystyrene. The damage, pretty bad though. As you can see from here, we have multiple bits of polystyrene scattered inside. We have BBs still wedged, which in the BBs they're actually still wedged inside the polystyrene. Not to mention that the hole that it created in the polystyrene is about the size of the 40 mic. So guys, overall this has been the review on the 40 mic. Should it be allowed or should it not? Or should we just stick to moss carts? Also, I'd like to compare it. The master mic is the same, but it doesn't shoot as many BBs, and also the spread is a lot wider, meaning that although you might not hit your target necessarily, you're also going to do a lot less damage. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below whether the 40 mic should be allowed at your local sites. Until next time guys, it's been Major Woods. I'll see you then.